Hello, VC. It's your boy Jeff. Back again. It's a new week. Got a new video here for you. It's a contest entry for Rob Walker over at Rob Walker Let the Music Play. I have to say, Rob, that's a great title for a channel because every time I hear it, or every time I look at Let the Music Play, the song Let the Music Play runs through my head by, what was her name? Shannon, I think, or something. Yeah, that's just a great 80s dance track, but I love it. Anyway, he's running a contest, and I still have time to get in. I think I'm going to make it in under the wire here. Was another interesting idea for a contest, and it was pretty easy. So we love easy, like I say. And you're supposed to show 5 artists, or a minimum of 5, that you wish you had seen live. So I've got 5 examples here. I did kind of limit myself because I've often said, if I had a time machine, if I had a TARDIS, I would, my first stop would have been Woodstock in the summer of '69, and I didn't go like through the whole rock and roll era or even blues era for my choices. I kind of limited myself to artists, with one exception, and you'll see. I'll do the exception first. But I kind of limited myself to artists that I honestly did have a shot at maybe seeing, but missed the opportunity, or for whatever reason I just changed my mind, or I decided against it, and it ended up regretting the decision, put it that way. So with that little parameter mixed in, I have 5 examples. But like I said, this first one is an exception because by the time he had passed, I was less than 1 year old. And that's Jimi Hendrix. I mean, come on. I can't think of anybody who wouldn't jump at the chance to see Jimmy live. And for any of you VC members out there who are old enough to have seen him, yeah, I'm jealous. I mean, when it comes to guitarists, still, in my opinion anyway, Jimmy stands head and shoulders above anybody else. And it would have been amazingly awesome to see Jimmy play live. But, I couldn't let this slide, even though I was technically alive at the time he was still alive, but only for a little while. But yeah, Jimmy would have been my number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 choice. So, had to show Jimmy. Okay, now on to the other artists that I sort of kind of maybe had chances to see in the past but didn't. This one I've seen David Gilmour solo. I've seen Roger Waters solo. I've seen Nick Mason solo. But I haven't seen them all together as Pink Floyd. So I'm putting that as one of my choices. My wife saw Pink Floyd in the 90s, even though Roger wasn't part of the band then. Still counts as Pink Floyd, and I'm jealous. What can I say? Yeah, I'm hoping, it's never going to happen, I know, but I don't think they could offer them enough money to tour again, the 3 surviving members, but I guess as long as all 3 of them are still alive and still capable, there's always a slim chance. But yeah, Pink Floyd. And another group that my wife saw that I didn't, that I'm insanely jealous of, is Page and Plant. Now, Led Zeppelin would have been another choice if I just let my time machine go free. But in the 70s, I was just a little kid I didn't even learn about Led Zeppelin until, the middle 80s. But in the 90s, Plant and Page toured and made a couple albums together, including this one, which was a live document of their tour. Wonderful stuff. They cover a lot of Led Zeppelin. Most of it is acoustic. It kind of fell sort of into that unplugged, era that was popular back in the mid '90s. But I probably could have gone to see them if I'd have been with my wife back then. I probably would have gone with her. But she saw them. She said it was an amazing show, and I wish she could have been there. So maybe not Led Zeppelin, but Page and Plant would have been a wonderful show, I'm sure. All right. Sorry, I gotta take a quick sip. This next band was on my bucket list. It actually kind of still is on my bucket list, even though I know the chances of them reuniting and touring at this point in time is probably slim to none. And they were going to tour, or actually they did tour a couple of years ago. And I was gonna get the tickets, even though they probably would have been very expensive. But when Fleetwood Mac fired Lindsey Buckingham, I just couldn't do it. It would have been the first time that the famous Five lineup was touring, doing a complete tour, I think, since Christine McVie rejoined. And I had it in my head. I was like, all right, I'm going to start saving my money, set it aside. And whatever the Chicago date was, I would make sure to get the day off. And then, right before they were going to tour, they fired Lindsey Buckingham. And that was when they hired Mike Campbell and Neil Finn. And I don't know how big of a fan of Fleetwood Mac you might be, but to my mind, that's just not Fleetwood Mac. It's almost like a Fleetwood Mac cover band. And I like Mike Campbell, great musician, but he's one of the Heartbreakers. I mean, come on. Neil Finn, I'm a big fan of Crowded House and Split Enz to a lesser degree. It's just, they just don't belong in Fleetwood Mac. And it's funny, this is like the second time that Lindsey wasn't in the band and they replaced him with two other guitarists. That happened in the 80s when he left after the Tango in the Night album, and they hired two guys to replace him. I mean, to me, Lindsey Buckingham's a monster player, monster musician, great guitarist, a studio wizard, kind of in the realm of Brian Wilson. And I know he was a big part of the driving force behind, Fleetwood Mac's albums that he was in. So when I was right there, I was ready to go see him, and when they got rid of him, I said, no way. Sorry. So I'm showing this album, Tusk. This is my vinyl copy of Tusk. Because, and I'm going to give her another shout out. I know I've been doing it a lot lately, but I really enjoy her videos, and that's Shannon over at Shannon Talks Music. She did a in-depth analysis type review of this album. It's one of her all-time favorite albums. And so that's why I pulled it to show my example of Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, would have loved to seen them. There is always the outside chance that they could bring him back, but I don't know. These guys are already in their 70s, mid 70s now. So who knows? If it happens, I'll make sure to go, but I just missed the boat on that one. Because to me, having Mike Campbell and Neil Finn just isn't Fleetwood Mac. Sorry. Okay, last one, and this one is the worst, the one I regret the most, because I had the chance to go see this artist, and at the time, which I think it was in 1989, I couldn't get the money together for a ticket before the show happened, and I ended up having to miss it. And I always had it in my head, all right, the next time he comes around for sure, I'm going to see him. And then he died in a helicopter crash the following year. Yeah. Stevie Ray Vaughan toured with Jeff Beck in 1989. And I did see Jeff Beck solo many, many years later, and that was a great show. But I couldn't get the damn money together for a ticket. And I'm still kicking myself to this day, because right below Hendrix for me is Stevie Ray. So the chance to have seen him live would have been amazing, even at an Enormo Dome or a giant arena. Couldn't imagine seeing him in a club setting. That would be even more unbelievable. But this is his greatest hits album that I happened to find at a estate sale. And yeah, that's the one I regret the most. And just as a little addendum to my entry, there are a couple of concerts that I had tickets for last year that got postponed, like Robert Cray. I actually have front row tickets to see Robert Cray. That would have happened last March, and the show got postponed this March. I don't have high hopes that that concert is actually going to take place yet, because I don't think the COVID-19 situation is going to be under control, in a month's time or 6 weeks time from now. So I'm imagining they're going to postpone that one again. And I did get tickets last year to see Roger Waters, and I paid, good buck for them, and that got postponed, but there's been no rescheduled date as far as I know. But even if it's summer, I don't see concerts coming back in a big way this year still. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But we're always going to hold out hope. This will end someday. But yeah, this is a good idea for a contrast. So thanks for running it, Rob. Enjoy your channel a lot, and hope you find this entry acceptable. So till next time, everybody take care, be safe, stay warm, peace. It's your boy Jeff. Jeffy loves you.